Yes, today everybody, it's your old man Russell. I'm MFA, otherwise known as Indegenius. Today I'm going to continue showing you why they call me the MFA, and we're going to do a little Photoshop. Yeah, let's just get into it because the point of this is to show you that it's necessary for you to increase your image through imagery. Alright, let's get it on. What can I put in here? We're going to go with a background of some kind. I do want to show you how easy it is to go from nothing to something. So you can just go into Google and look for some brick, and you will find some nice images to work with in Google. Oh, see, that's a great perspective that I hadn't even thought about, so I'll start there. Now this perspective is not going to be the center frame, it's just some texture, but it's something to go off of. And we also are going to find something more simple, and I probably have some better stock I can use for that. And for that I'm just going to go to File, Place, and I'm going to go up through my drives and find place where I have some particular, I think I did it in stock in here, backdrops, yeah, those are fine. So what I'm actually looking for is something that's not too contrasty but has a good vignette to it. I'm going to go with that. Now it's going to line up the wrong dimensions on there, so I'm just going to hold shift and change the dimensions. Then I'll hold alt and shift to drag it out so that it's as wide as my canvas hit enter. Now I've got that, I can go back to the one I found in Google. I can copy that image pretty much directly off the web, go above this and paste that image in. I can go Control T, which actually I'll escape really quickly. I'll convert that to a smart object. Then I will Control T, which will let me Control 0, get the whole thing on one screen. By hitting Control 0, I zoomed all the way out to the full size of the image, which allow me, if I now hit Control 0 again, it again brings it to full size. I can go to my layers palette and turn that off for just now. What I'm going to be doing is probably going really quickly through this, show y'all how we can do some kind of interesting things without taking too long to get the effects done. I have a good stockpile of brushes, so I'm just going to use one of these brushes. That one's looking something like what I need, and I'm going to get it right to the edge. I'm actually going to make that a little bit larger. And I'm using my right and left bracket to make it larger or smaller. I have that layer already created and I'm filling it with white. Very nice, very nice. Now all I have to do is find a central figure. Who is this about? File, Place. I want to go up to discovering my little central figure that I was doing here. J Alvarez has got some music out these days that I enjoy. Got them, put them in there, Control Enter. We're done with that. We can move them over. It was actually a pretty backlit photo, so this is gonna work out just fine. It'll work out just fine. Now, I got a couple of options. I did want this here. What I'm going to do with it is rasterize it actually. Then I'm going to invert that layer, image adjustments, invert, sorry, desaturate that layer. Then I'm going to potentially invert it, sure, image adjustments, invert. And now I am going to color burn. Yeah. So I get some really interesting effect going. Now I can lower the amount of fill. Okay. Still really strong. Now I can go to that original Alvarez, duplicate that layer, rasterize it, duplicate that layer, desaturate it, then filter blur, Gaussian blur for that, which really kind of takes it further away. There, it's going to be really soft, and then I can just change my blend mode so that I can get a blend mode that just, you see how it's having that effect on the lights there? See his jewelry is what I'm really doing that for. So now I can take those two, convert them to a smart object, which is on the top, and I can lower the fill. And then I can take both of these and move them above that background. This one here, I can actually color burn onto it. So I can start to get some harder definition to it and to here. Yeah, highly contrasty. That's a good one, overlay. That's more like what I'm looking for. Vivid light. Okay. So now we got pretty much the centerpiece is working. Not too much done. It's pretty much ready for titles, but there's one thing I want to do, which is on the paint 30 there. I just want to add some outer glow, and I want to change that color. Boom, one of my favorite colors is more bluer. And I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna increase it a little bit. With a lot of noise. Wait, trying to increase the range a bit. There we go. And bring it down. Okay. So now we're pretty much in there. We're ready for some titling, quick titles. And while it's loading that, I just want to tell you that the titles really make your piece, right? So you want to pick your font as nicely as you can choose. Okay. So while this is loading, I'm on the titling. It's going through all of the fonts that I have available on my machine, which right now is quite a few, and it's going to eventually allow me to start choosing fonts. And so I can continue with my font just by tapping inside my palette somewhere. I'm going to be going through here looking for a font. Pretty sure that's how you spell his name. Very good. Fine for now. and then I'm going to continue to style that. Control Enter to let go of it. Control T to make it bigger. Shift Alt drags in both directions at once. I am cool with this font. I could have gone a lot of other directions. Hold T to highlight the section that you want. Go to the character palette and make it bigger. Control Enter V. I'm sorry, hit V, which gives you control over just that layer. Go back to T. You want to highlight this. You want to go back to your character palette and adjust your baseline shift. There. Then I want to go and test it out with false caps. I want to go with that. What I'm going to do is actually make this font size a little larger. And since I've got that pretty much done, all I have to do now is warp this text. So I did want to duplicate the layer, rasterize that layer, rasterize that type to make it a flat layer, and then I can Control T, and then I can warp it, and then I can start to assassinate the letter form in the way that I want to. But I want to keep it very legible. By doing this right now, I'm going to be basically creating a font that doesn't exist anywhere else. Something more like that is what I am going for. Alright, for the sake of time, we're going to call that for the day. Show you a little bit of quick styling. Double click on the layer. It's going to give you the opportunity to satin that and stroke it. I'm going to stroke it in black or dark gray there. Okay. That's that for right now. The stroke is a little bit too thick for my liking. Bring that stroke down to 1. Okay. Now you see this pixelization that is not actually happening. If you hold Control Z, it's going to move it to, I'm sorry, Control minus, it's going to move it to 100% so you can actually see that it's a smooth line there. We'll call this Remix Reggaeton Love. Remix Reggaeton. Then we highlight the whole thing, go to the character palette, make sure we have our kerning on auto, or letting, I guess that's called, on auto. Then we're going to change the color of that to something a little more funky, just a little more funky, so we can notice it. Okay. Now, what's making this very difficult for me is the font that the originator of this image included. So I am anyways right now want to erase that, but in order to not do all of that, I am going to just go back to my character font, and I'm going to go with red as my secondary color here. Now I need to pick new fonts, and I need to straighten this out, and then we'll be done. Then with that, move a few more things around, and you have a cover. It's Indegenius. Yep.